Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our beloved lecturer, Madam Musrifah binti Mohammed, and our fellow classmates. We are from Group 2 and now, let me introduce our group members. We have Amiratun Atika binti Khairul Amri, Nurul Adila binti Abdul Rashid, Nur Hazika Malana binti Sharul Nizam, Khairul Nisa binti Mahatse, Nur Syara Najwa binti Abdullah, and me myself, Nurul Atika binti Muhammad Halimi.
My name is Nur Syara Najwa binti Abdullah, and now I will start presenting with the first topic, which is Sharia audit considered competent or bring challenge to the Islamic banking? The competency of Sharia audit can be achieved when it is practiced by an independent or internal audit department. This is to ensure the quality of audit work is maintained and the standard and guideline provided by IFI have been complied with. The internal audit department need to be supervised through a proper internal control system. Next, the auditors must possess lots of knowledge to perform Sharia audit with competency, which includes accounting and Sharia knowledge, such as qualification in fiqh muamalat. This can help them to understand and perform the Sharia audit for Islamic banking more accurately and reliably. Lastly, the auditors must also develop professional care and skills, and this can be achieved with a proper training and guidelines. A lot of experience and training can help the auditors to perform their duty with excellent practice and outcomes, since they might have been exposed to such practice previously.
It is agreeable that Sharia audit can achieve its competency, but there are some issues that may challenge the Sharia audit to be applied effectively. Firstly, independence of Sharia can be questioned as most of the auditors are to be told to follow all the instructions of advisors and SSB instead of on their own. Secondly, there is a lack of competency of Sharia auditors because they may be lacking in some knowledge and skills needed. Lastly, there is insufficient of reviewers and inspectors with Hizbah institution and muhtasibs, since the internal reviewers are not enough alone as they may not have the capabilities in Sharia.
Hi, so next me Khairul Nisa binti Mahazir will be explaining the definition of money laundering and how it works. So, money laundering is commonly defined as the process of bringing the proceeds of illegitimate sources of money into the organized and lawful financial system. This procedure is vital because it allows the criminal to reap the benefits of the crime without risking its source. The money launderer will hide their criminal activities through three basic steps, which are placement, layering, and integration. And the first step is placement. Placement is where the money launderer will convert the illegal money obtained into assets that seem legitimate. It is done by depositing funds into a bank account. And layering, which involves using multiple transactions to further distance the funds from the origin. This can take the form of transfers between multiple accounts or through the purchase of tradable property such as real estate, expensive cars, and more. And the last step is integration, that will allow the money to re-enter the mainstream economy and to benefit the original criminal.
Thank you, Khairul Nisa, for the introduction of money laundering. Now, me, Amiratun Atika binti Khairul Amri, will share with you on the effect of money laundering on macroeconomics. First and foremost is money laundering could affect the scope of the shadow and underground economies. They tend to keep their enterprise small in order to evade official inspection, which will necessitate registration in the formal sector, resulted the number of small and independent businesses will grow, which will be exploited by money launderers to conceal their criminal operations. Next is, money laundering could also affect illicit capital flows. For your information, not all money processes necessitate international transactions. Some criminal gains are typically washed domestically. As a result, money laundering that necessitates foreign transaction will result in unlawful cash movement across countries.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Nur Hazika Malena and I will continue by discussing the topic of Employee Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 adequate in Malaysia. Okay, Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 was designed to consolidate existing whistleblowing legislation to produce a more comprehensive whistleblowing system. It is to address the increasing complaints of corruption and instill confidence for whistleblowers to make disclosure. Besides, it is a Malaysian government transformation plan as an effort to combat corruption and other misconduct. Whistleblower Act is important as it brings justice and transparency, especially in a business environment, as it is a right thing and ethical thing to do.
Hi, my name is Nurul Adila bint Rashid, and I will now continue to discuss further about the problems arising in the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010. There are 4 problems that I wanted to highlight here. The first one is that the Act is not applicable to the employees who make a report of any wrongdoing of their employers. Employees will be in a dilemma on whether they should report to the internal management of the company or to file a report to an external body. The employees may be frightened to disclose information related to the company and employers, since they might take legal actions against them if there are claims that their fiduciary duties owed to their employers has been breached. The second problem is that there are 2 elements under Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 that pose an obstacle for a whistleblower to disclose information. The whistleblower is required solely to alert the law enforcement agencies about the misconduct, and the information disclosed must not be forbidden by any written law. For example, in the case of Muhammad Rafizi Ramli versus Public Prosecutor. The third problem is that there is no specific policy established in public university regarding whistleblower policy. The Act does not address what kind of a security or protection is agreed in the policy. Besides, there are no confirmations or assurance given to the whistleblower due to no action would be taken by the authority. And lastly, there are a significant number of important documents, data, and information that are classified as official secrets under the Official Secrets Act 1972. Some employees might fear to disclose any information since there is a possibility for them to be arrested or prosecuted.
Okay, in order to fight the corruption and fraud, the Malaysian Parliament has enacted the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010. The purpose to commence the Act is to protect whistleblowers that consists of employees, and this can be seen where in Section 7, WPA 2010 has laid down types of protection. First, any information about the improper conduct and personal details of the whistleblower would be kept confidential. Second, a whistleblower is entitled to immunity from any civil and criminal action for making the disclosure of information. And lastly, whistleblowers can claim remedies against anyone who takes any detrimental action such as injury, loss, or damage. Harassments against them, and the person is said to commit an offence under WPA 2010.
In conclusion, the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 has a lot of discrepancies. We believe that the current Whistleblower Protection Act in Malaysia is unsatisfactory, inadequate, and needs to be improved in order to broaden the scope of protection to the whistleblower. Recently, there is also a case related to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, which involves the agency's Chief Commissioner share trading case, as the person involved wanted to take legal action against the whistleblower for pointing out the truth. If the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 is not further strengthened, the cases related to corruption and other misconduct might increase, since the whistleblower might not feel safe to disclose information if there is no proper protection for them. The Malaysian government should consider amending the above definition of a whistleblower to enhance whistleblower protection laws, which are a critical instruments in the fight against corruptions and other misconducts.
Hi, I am back. Now I will continue the presentation with the issues related to transnational audit and strategy to overcome the issues. Okay, the word transnational audit, that also can be called international audit, is a process that involves other countries globally. Transnational audit refers to an audit of financial statements that are or may be relied on outside of the audited entity's native jurisdiction. The purpose of transnational audit involves significant lending, investments, and regulatory decisions. For example, the process of the audit of a private company in America to obtain debt finance in Canada is qualified as a transnational audit because the financial statements of the company are used across national borders in obtaining the debt financing. Moreover, even though an entity has no foreign shareholders, it also can be categorized as a transnational audit when the financial statements may have to be relied on by foreign investors or creditors for potential investment or lending decisions. In adverse, if the audit process is restricted by local securities laws to trade only with local residents and local exchanges, it could not be classified as transnational audit because it does not involve trade across national borders and there is no involvement by the transnational users.
There are several issues that arise due to transnational audits. One of the issues involves the linguistic problems in translating the original audited reports. The linguistic problems may occur when the company's audited report needs to be translated into a different language. The linguistic scope also covers a wide area, which includes semantics, pragmatics, statistics, syntactics, and philology. For example, translating an audited financial report from English to French. Next is the issue regarding differences in applying the auditing standards. International financial reporting standards are used in some nations, while locally designed accounting standards are used in others. Adjustment, reconciliations, or restatements may be required within a multinational group to comply with the requirements of the countries relevant to the group financial statements. Such reconciliations can be complicated, requiring the preparer and auditor to have a high level of technical skills. The last issue is about the additional audit fees in transnational audit. Additional audit fees may be needed to incurred by the multinational group or company if there is any additional information that needs to be disclosed by the company in order to decide on making the investment decision. The audit fees would be charged so that the quality of the audit report is at its highest level.
There are many ways or strategies that we may adopt to overcome the issues. First and foremost, the message must be reworded in an alternate but acceptable target language construction that can be understood by all users from other countries. In addition, accounting standardization must remain to be exercised in a professional context that will result in even audit processes within the group, and the audit's overall quality can be improved. Last but not least, the audit fees can be reduced in many ways, such as higher knowledgeable staff, well-prepared documentation, and using a reliable and updated accounting software.
In conclusion, it can be seen that transnational audit is not widely used in Malaysia due to the linguistic issues, differences in auditing standards, and additional audit fees arise between two countries. Consequently, companies that plan to acquire an investment or significant lending globally may practice a precise process of transnational audit. The role of transnational auditors that link the forum and the IFAC are very important in these audit processes to obtain high quality standards of financial reporting and achieve auditing practices worldwide.
The last topic for our presentation that we chose is blockchain accounting and its impact in auditing profession. Let me start with the introduction. Industry Revolution 4.0 is the revolution of digital transformation that use modern technologies, and blockchain is one of them. Blockchain is a ledger used to collect and store all group of transactions in a chain-like structure of data. Digital ledger helps to retrieve any information needed for the users. It also helps to integrate the accounting functions and really helpful to the auditors, accountants, and also regulators. There are three features of blockchain technology, which includes cryptographic, real-time, and hosting a smart contract.
The application of blockchain does give an impact to the auditing profession, which can be considered as opportunities, and some of them can be seen when examining the transaction recorded. Blockchain gives an assurance to the auditors on the occurrence of the transaction, and this can enhance the process of verifying the documents by the auditors. Next, the data in blockchain are easily accessible without having to take a longer times in receiving the data from the trading parties, and the auditors can access the data in any period of time. Lastly, the auditors can shift their focus towards internal control auditing, which is more reliable in determining the accuracy of the transaction, since the transaction can be manipulated without a proper internal control system.
Thank you, Nushara Najwa. Now I will be sharing on the challenges of blockchain to the auditing profession. The first challenges is the advancement of technologies, where auditors may face problem embracing the LT technology and the interoperability of all accounting software with the new technology in terms of its application and how it works. Next, related to the security and privacy of blockchain and smart audit methods, we can see through permissionless type of blockchain, where they are open to everyone and there is no safeguard that prevents user from reading or writing data. Therefore, the information provided might affect the audit evidence and increase the audit risk. Last but not least is the reliability and accuracy of data kept in the blockchain. For example, the situation of where assets that have been recorded on the blockchain have been transferred from seller to buyer. However, relying on the information on the blockchain, the auditor may or may not be able to determine the product that was provided. The transaction recorded in the blockchain can still be unauthorized, falsified, or illegal. With that being said, we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.